Daybreak Interactive on Trust TV. That segment of the program where we get to hear from you as you share your take on different developments and topics that is affecting you and the generality of Nigeria. Like I said earlier, today we talk about the minimum wage. Is it enough? Has the government done well? Is the Labour right to have given up the fight because of the prevailing economic situation? These are the questions that's on the minds of many Nigerians as the federal government and the organized labour reach an agreement on the new minimum wage. The numbers will be displayed on your screen currently. Please start sending those calls in as you share your thoughts, your comments, and of course your concern on these developments. And we have a caller now. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Shetima Yakudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Regular caller, Shetima. Good morning. How's Maiduguri this morning?
Morning, Sagir. We thank God Maiduguri is cool.
So, what's your take on the new minimum wage?
Honestly speaking, I was surprised when I heard 70,000 was allocated as a minimum wage.
But what were you expecting?
Or approved as a minimum wage. Because Mr. President had promised living wage. I think is far from reality. And this minimum wage, I doubt much if it can cater for a small family.
Shetima,
considering the present economic situation that we are facing in Nigeria. To pay worker 70,000 as a minimum wage, how can he cater for his health, transport himself to a working place, and mandatory one to buy food? Even one bag of rice, this money cannot buy. You can imagine, Sagir. I think Nigerian workers, they can only borrow the sound of Fela as suffering and smiling. But honestly speaking, we are much surprised for the outcome of this 70,000. It's too meager. It's too meager, honestly.
But then, Shetima, you know that the government had put in certain promises that, first off, it's going to be reviewing the minimum wage every 3 years instead of 5 years. And expectedly, it will be doing the best that it can to ensure that it reduces the economic effects and hardships that Nigerians have currently been facing. But however, is this enough to, douse the tensions in the minds of Nigerians, especially bearing the rising cost of commodities in the market? I mean, just the other day, you were telling me how the price of healthcare and accessing health facilities in Maiduguri has skyrocketed. So do you think this helps in any ways?
You see, Mr. Sagir, honestly speaking, they say all this is what is a political trick, the way I see it. Reviewing in 3 months, in 3 years' time. You see how many months it takes before they arrive for this 70,000. They delay, they do maneuvers, they do a lot of things. And you see, the reality is that a small family now, I can give you an example, a small family, a wife and 2 children, to pay school fee, the meager school fee for now, it is 30,000 naira. When you take away 30,000 naira out of the 70,000 naira, how
for
much
just one child? For just one child?
For just one child. Imagine, you take for one child, how much will remain? Let's say your children are 2. You pay for 2. How much will remain for you to take you up to a month? That's what we are talking about. And you see, this issue of saying reviewing after 3 months, if they even review, how much they will give. That's the reality. Honestly speaking, as I told you, just Nigerian workers, they have been found themselves in a cage where they hardly for them to buy anything. And this minimum wage, Sagiri, it will encourage a big corruption in Nigerian civil service. Because people, if at all you are hungry as a worker, some sensitive files come to your table. I think you have no choice than to look for what you will collect and pass the file away.
Well, Shetima, let's not start by encouraging them. So, but expectedly,
no, I'm not encouraging them, Sagir. It is the system that encouraging them.
I understand that. I understand that this is the unfortunate reality that we found ourselves. But then again, the federal government has come up with a figure, and the Labour has for now said that it's going to go with it. Like they said, it's going to be a continuous deliberation and discussion. So let's hope that the Labour will continue to capture the interest of the masses. Shetima there all the way from Maiduguri, calling to bear his minds on the development, describing it as not enough. He even borrowed some lyrics from Fela's song saying Nigerians might end up suffering and smiling because it's not just enough. The average cost of school fees, he says, 30,000 naira. Not enough for one child, let alone a family of 5. We have another caller now. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. I am Ibrahim Pocho, calling from Kebbi State.
Ibrahim from Kebbi, welcome to the program. Please proceed with your contribution.
Yeah. Welcome, sir. You are welcome, sir.
You're also welcome.
What I want to add on what my just discussed from or said from Maiduguri is that the fact remains that the Nigerians are quite surprised, extremely surprised, not just because of what just happened, considering where we came from and where we are now. All the postponement of the sitting negotiation, things like that has been going on months and weeks. At the end of the discussion, this is what they were able to come up with. It's a shame, actually. It proves to us, to the nation, that people in power has no utmost of respect and regards to the low-class people. What they think is that since we are poor, we will manage with the little we have, which is wrong. Just look at the analysis my brother gave to you. You have 3 children or 4. There is a family that is having about 10 or 14 children that are under school, under his care. How manage will he, what kind of miracle is he going to perform to satisfy the needs of those families, feeding, health issue, clothing, whatever thing has to do within that 70K? It's unfair. The government need to rethink and realize the fact that when they push the people to the last level of their patience, they are not going to like the outcome of it. It is not just because you are there with the plenty of security around you that you think you can come on air and say anything you wish to say. It is wrong. You need to reconsider the power of that word that is going to come out and how effective it's going to be lives of people. Now, take an example. And a House of Reps said, former speaker said, he was receiving 400,000 naira, but his allowee at the end of the month, he will go home between 20-something thousand, 20 to 25 million. Now, if you look at it, how much is the minister is collecting as a allowee or salary? How much more the governor? How much more the senator? Now, how are they going to expect a low class to survive with 70,000 naira? It is unfair, madam. But not to talk much on this, that the president himself, he has made a lot of promises that is going to renew the hope of Nigeria. So let us see that renewed hope. And I also call on the Labour president and TUC president that what they were fighting, we have applauded them a little, not much, because they should have rejected this 70,000 naira offer. Because it is too meager. Even them themselves, they know that it is not up to the standard of the suffering that they have embarked our people upon. They have fight, they have voiced, talked, People have supported them. They should have stand on their ground that the least they can take is 200 or 300,000.
But Ibrahim, you know, we have to consider the fact that the government is also trying to be diplomatic in the sense that the country is actually not in a position where it has all of these monies that it can put out. I'm saying this because on the government side, they made Labour understand that the economy is currently in crisis, and as much as they are willing to negotiate further, they cannot do so because they are handicapped, you know, by funds. So in this light, would you now say the right thing to do would be for our leaders in terms of members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, to at least give some form of shavings in terms of, you know, cutting down the cost of running government, cutting down their salaries and the likes of that, at least to show some form of solidarity to Nigerians?
Well, based on what you just said, that the economics we are having, you know, hard time economically.
Indeed.
Let's take that.
For now.
Who are the cause of the economical difficulties that we are facing today? People you mentioned, they are the brain behind the economic difficulties that we are facing today.
Indeed, Ibrahim.
What is too big for Mr. President, who pronounced subsidy removal, blocked so many things? What is so big for him to reverse that back? I'm talking about the relinquishment of some part of their salary that the House of Reps and the Senate did. That one is not enough. It is not enough.
All right, Ibrahim.
It is not enough.
Let's leave it at it's not being enough, and hoping that Labour will continue to stand by Nigeria and continue to fight for the interest of Nigerians. Ibrahim, all the way from Kebbi, with his thoughts there. Thank you so much for calling on Daybreak. Yes, so the dissatisfaction continues. Nigerians are visibly unhappy about this development, and we now have another caller. Good morning, welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Fine, by this grace.
Your name and your location, please.
I am Shelia calling from Gombe.
Michelia from Gombe.
Yes.
Please proceed, Michelia.
Thank you. Well, this issue of minimum wage have been on for quite a long time. And right from the beginning, most of us that have been following knew that there are a lot of things shady about it. For a committee of 37 people to have 1.5 billion for their sitting, that one is another question. And then at the end of the day, looking at the present economic situation, where a bag of beans is going for about 200,000, the most common food in Nigeria, rice, about 100,000, 80. Maize, about 100,000, 80. Spaghetti that people use for breakfast, a carton is going for 20-something thousand, that is about 1,000 something naira per each sachet, and all this. And an average worker in Nigeria, even if it's his immediate family, is mostly around 4 people. For you to feed 4 people per meal, you need nothing less than 20,000. So in a day, you may need, well, let us put it conservatively that every day you need about 20,000 to feed your family.
So the 70,000 is
days,
just not sustainable.
So it's just that, well, we don't want to preempt, but Nigerians are fed up with even the leadership of the NLC and the TUC. It seems they are only out for their own interest, probably. We are not accusing them, but we are looking at it that probably they might have been compromised. Because since the day they left for Geneva for the ILO, things begin to change. And we have seen it with the final decision yesterday that the NLC and the TUC may not be fighting for the cause of the labor, just like what we have during Ayuba Wabasteno. That's what this present leadership may be turning into.
So whose interest are they fighting for then, if it's not the interest of Nigerians?
No, they are not fighting for the interest, because this 70,000, what can it do for a family? It cannot do anything.
But you know
if you look at it from a reality point of view, if the government is saying that it is not sustainable, that the economy is bad and all this, we are not seeing it on the lives of these politicians. Look at what the National Assembly is doing.
Michelia,
they are living a lavish life.
Indeed.
We are seeing it on them. We are seeing what is happening in the society. Look at what the presidency is doing. Every day they are bringing in all things that improve when they are living, and all this, making life more lavish for them. And then they are telling Nigerians to bear with them that condition is very hard. Let us see it on them that the condition is actually very hard. Let them live by example. What are they telling us? They are not showing any sign that the economy is bad as far as they are concerned. But they are trying to impress it on Nigeria to believe that the economy is hard. Let us see it on them that actually the economy is hard, and then we will believe them.
All right, Michelle.
But they live a lavish life. You see, even their SA, their PA, and all these people that are almost just political jobbers, living a lavish life when they come to the community. And people that are working to sustain the government, because the civil servant is the engine room of the government. And you don't want to feed them, not even to talk about their welfare, just to feed them, to keep them living, so that they can continue to do the work to make the government work. This money they are spending is the civil servants that are working to make this money for them. So why are they just out on destroying or improvising the life of the civil servant? It's just unfortunate. But we have found ourselves in a very difficult situation, that the present crop of politicians that we have are just selfish people, that are out just to make themselves money for their own children and all these things. It's unfortunate.
Indeed, Michelle, it is. And we definitely hope that the Labour would do more in terms of fighting for the interest of Nigeria. Michelle calling all the way from Gombe there with his submissions on the matter. The new minimum wage, 70,000 naira. Is it enough to cater for a family? That's what we're talking about this morning. The numbers are on your screen. Please continue to call. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mobolaji Sulaiman, calling from Abuja.
Good morning, Mr. Mobolaji. Welcome to the program. Yes. Please proceed.
Yes, sir. My take from the minimum wage, I think 70,000 naira is okay, in the sense that when we look at the situation, we know it's critical. But the civil servant has to know it's not every Nigerian that are working for government. So by saying you are going for 70,000 or they will pay 125, what happened to the unemployment in Nigeria? Because the more the money has been increased, so also the value of the market price will increase. What about those people that are living from hands to mouth? How are they going to cope with the situation? The civil servant, for me, for now, everybody knows the 70,000 naira minimum wage is a bit quite small, but I think it is very all right for this present situation. So when we are improved, we should be able to increase the value. But for now, they should consider those that are not working. Because the value of the market, they don't want to consider. The market women and the people will not consider that someone are not working. As they increase the price, the food the civil servants will eat. So also what the people that are not working for government still will earn. So, and again, the state workers, it also affects them in the sense that the people that they were saying the state governors are not ready to pay this money. If you look at it, so holistically, it is better for the civil servants to try to take this money better than them saying no to the government. As they collected it now, I listened to the last caller. There is own emphasis on the civil servant, so they should consider those that are not working.
Indeed.
When the percentage of unemployment in Nigeria is very at the high rate, so they should know the more that money increase, God forbid, so also the crime will increase because those are not working. We start otherwise, God forbid. So when we're talking about our politicians, it's not started now.
Indeed.
The amount of politicians are collected even from the onset, even the First Republic, Second Republic, Third Republic to the present Fourth Republic, we have him now. No politician is poor. Let's be candid to ourselves.
All right.
It's not only we look at how much they're giving them. So by this, I think it should be better for our people. But let's take this. It's a process they normally try to, I think, in 3 or 2 years, they always try to go back to the... So for my this, they should look at that and collect this and make it so that Nigeria will not be in crisis.
All right.
All right, then. And bless our leader.
Amen. All right, then, Mobolaji, thank you so much for the call. Mobolaji says that the 70,000 naira for now might be enough, but that's in the meantime, and considering the fact that the economy is not exactly in the best position to provide Nigerians with more than this 70,000 naira. However, previous callers had voiced concerns about the sustainability of this 70,000 naira, especially for families of 5 and above. I mean, with a rising inflation rate, food inflation currently around 40%, if not more. The basket inflation, according to economists, is around 34%, which has contributed to the rise of a lot of commodities in the market. The removal of the fuel subsidy is another thing that increased the cost of commodities, including the floating of the naira, which has seen the naira taking a serious beating against the dollar. All of these has led to the increasing cost of living in Nigeria. However, we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? So, quick rules of engagement. I would need you to turn down the volume of your TV set, else we might have to let you go. Hello, good morning. Do give us a call back. Rules of engagement. If you want to have a conversation on Daybreak Interactive, you would have to turn down the volume of your TV set. You can't listen to me on the phone and also listen to yourself on the television. It's going to cause an interruption in the conversation. We have another caller. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Sunday.
Sunday, you're calling from where?
From Kogi State, yeah.
Sunday from Kogi, welcome to the program. Please proceed with your contribution. Go ahead, Sunday.
Really don't work because if you give the labor 250,000, how inflation will keep on rising. Things in the market will keep on rising because they will notice that they have more money. And this minimum wage you are talking about is not salary. If you want to join your own salary as a government this thing, it's not that is your main salary. So, and government have it in mind to fix the economic, So, if they are not giving 250,000 now, that means that they are hunting themselves for egg. So they have to cut it according to so that it will benefit everybody. Everybody know how the inflation and how the country is. But you need to consider those that do not work because they have 2-3 children.
Indeed.
They don't receive any salary. How are they going to cope? There are some that cannot go to farm. But this one, you people are even privileged, have the work.
Indeed.
I know the government, they are not doing well, but in terms of this, I'm supporting them. They did well because they tell you for the consideration, okay, next 3 years, we'll reveal it.
All right.
So that is for you to give them time to fix the economy. If the economy is okay, you too will know that, okay, these people, this is what they plan or this is what they're meant to do. Not to be high the money because it's going to affect us for the grassroots.
All right, Sunday. Thank you so much, Sunday, for your contributions. Thank you so much for the contributions. Well, Sunday says 70,000 naira, as much as is not enough now, should be something we should contend with because of the current situation of the country. However, previous callers have said that it's unacceptable because you can't have a situation where you see government officials and their appointees living lavishly and spending lavishly, And then in another vein, they come and they say that there's no money to pay Nigerian workers. Is it only Nigerian workers that's not good enough to receive salaries that's befitting of them to have, a good and comfortable lifestyle when the appointees of government and government officials and those in the corridors of power continue to benefit? These are the issues that's making it difficult for these Nigerians to agree that 70,000 naira is enough and 70,000 naira is what the government can offer. We also had some messages sent in on WhatsApp, which I'll be reading for you this morning. It says, "Good morning, Trust TV. My name is Buhari Yusuf. How Nigerians think that 70,000 will be enough for families as minimum wage? How do they think that's going to be enough? Even if you will eat tuwo, that's Hausa local food, 70,000 naira won't be enough for you because a bag of rice is now 85,000. What about school fees, transportation, and other obligatory things?" This is Buhari Yusuf. That's his message to us about the new minimum wage. So these are the questions on the minds of Nigerians. How do Nigerians continue to contend with the current realities, harsh economic conditions, harsh living conditions occasioned by the rising costs of commodities in the market? We have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. I from the sound of the voice, I felt that was going to be a lady, and honestly, I would love for women, mothers, to please call into the program to share their thoughts and share their minds on this development, because you are the ones who go to the market almost every time to get items, food items, and other commodities for the family. So please call in to tell us how sustainable this is going to be, especially with the cost of food items, the cost of accessing health facilities in Nigeria, the cost of transportation, and other services that families would be requiring, including school fees. Please call us and tell us your mind about these developments. We have another caller now. Hopefully it's going to be a woman. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kwanpan in Plateau State. My name is Joseph Elisha Dako.
Joseph from Plateau State, please proceed with your contribution.
Yeah, my contribution to this aspect is that the federal government has tried, but the issue at hand now, things are very hard. And if you look into it now, the market people, the more they hear the 70,000, the more they influence prices of everything in the market. And if the president should look into it, we are all human beings. He was complaining of changing his aircraft. About 7 billion or so was to request for a new aircraft from him. And what did he want us to do? He is just looking at himself without seeing the impact on the poor mass. It's we, the civil servants, that work hard to earn that money he's going to buy that plane with, it, not his office. But a minimum was of 250 that the labor were crying for. He would not do that by saying 70,000, not even 100, not 150, but 70. Because they are greedy for themselves. That's why God always punishes them when they go out of the sea. They become so incapacity to bear things, because they will not be getting the money they normally hijack. So all what they are doing to us is because they are on sea. But the Lord in heaven is watching, and He will judge everybody.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you so much, Joseph, for the call. Yes, so Nigerians are really not happy about the development, not because the 70,000 naira, some have said, is not enough, but because of the fact that the government is, in one hand, saying that there is not enough money, and in another full swoop, are making purchases for themselves to make their lives easier. I mean, Joseph spoke about the purchase of a new aircraft for the presidency. There's also the construction of, a new residence for the vice president. There's the purchase of SUVs amounting to hundreds of billions for members of the National Assembly. It goes on and on and on. These are all the developments that Nigerians would see that makes it difficult for them to believe that Nigeria does not have enough money for them to cater for themselves and their everyday lives. Yes, they are calling for some form of sensitivity and sensibility on the part of the government so as to show some form of understanding for their plight, both in thoughts, in actions, and in words. Until that happens, well, we'll continue to hear Nigerians bicker about the minimum wage not being enough. And talking about not being enough, that's the much we can take on Daybreak Interactive this morning. To all of those who called into the program, Shatima, Ibrahim, Joseph, Michelia, all of those who called, Sunday inclusive, on the program, thank you so much. And to those who were not able to call, well, we'll do this again next time.